The trip to Japan was supposed to be glamorous, exciting, and full of unforgettable memories. Instead, as I glanced around the room, I realized that not everyone shared the same vision. So I got to be real with you guys. I started cautiously, trying to phrase it politely, but honestly, there wasn't much gentle way to say this. You look like clowns. I immediately regretted the bluntness, knowing my words would sting. But sometimes, honesty is unavoidable. This wasn't a Halloween costume party, and it certainly wasn't a tourist gimmick where you could get away with dressing like a Japanese geisha just because you were in Japan. Unless, of course, we were at an actual geisha house, and we weren't. I couldn't help but think back to last night. I had spent hours doing my hair, making sure my outfit was fun, stylish, and fitting for Japan. I genuinely thought I looked good. But as I watched everyone else, I realized that fashion tastes were subjective, and some opinions could cut deep. Your outfit would have been great if you didn't have blue eyeshadow, I admitted, trying to soften the blow with a compliment. But still, it came out harsher than intended. I had to admit, though, there was a certain synchronicity among us. My blue eyeshadow echoed her blue shoes, and Khloé's blue eyes matched her earrings. We were, in a sense, coordinated. Or at least, that was the positive spin I tried to put on it. No, but she was green and yellow, someone argued, pointing out that color coordination hadn't gone entirely as planned. I didn't know the yellow was happening, I said, genuinely surprised. Apparently, half of the eyeshadow was yellow and half green. I hadn't even noticed that detail. It was like an evil eye, someone muttered under their breath, and I had to stifle a laugh. You think I looked like a clown? Well, you look like you just won the Tour de France and you're cycling around town, I shot back. I had to defend myself somehow. Even my cartoon avatar looked amazing and fashionable, a little digital reflection of what I had hoped to embody in real life. But, as always, Japan had a way of humbling you. People here seemed to take fashion seriously in a way that was entirely different from back home. While we were all in a bubble of playful, exaggerated style, the locals probably had their own private critiques of our choices. I made a mental note, next time, maybe tone it down. Still, my personal style wasn't that over the top, was it? Maybe it was just a clash of aesthetics, a culture shock meeting personal expression. Later, we wandered into a quaint little dessert shop, the kind of hidden gem you stumble upon when exploring a city with no particular plan. The walls were pastel, the lights warm, and the display case glistening with sugary temptations. How cute is this place? I whispered, marveling at the charm. Over near the counter, Khloé's eyes lit up. Stuffed Oreo Chio, she pointed, practically vibrating with excitement. I couldn't resist either, I would love a Chio donut. We debated a few minutes before settling on getting a sampler, because why choose one when you can have both? The first bite was transcendental. Fluffy, sugary, a perfect balance of crunch and cream. Crucified, I muttered dramatically, savoring the flavors. Khloé dug in with equal enthusiasm, the two of us momentarily forgetting any earlier tensions. I paused though, realizing I might regret indulging so freely. I'm not going to have any more, I admitted, reluctantly, because I'm going to see my son later, and I'm scared Kourtney will smell that on me. Kourtney, the ever-critical, the unyielding observer, could turn a simple snack into a potential controversy. She's nuts, Khloé whispered. I just laughed and moved on, savoring a final bite before the conversation inevitably shifted. Our next stop was Sherman Oaks, where a holistic doctor claimed to have knowledge of diets and health techniques from around the world. He's from Thailand and says he's got something nobody else has heard of, I explained to the group, the air of intrigue palpable. The doctor's treatments, it seemed, involved exotic and expensive remedies, one notably referred to as cat urine. I nearly choked on my water at the thought. Pick me up a bottle, I joked half seriously. I will, Khloé replied, emphasizing the expensive part as though that might make it easier to swallow. We returned to our rooms afterward, decompressing after a long day. My room was enormous, spacious enough to feel like a mini apartment. I paced, taking in the decor, the furniture, the sheer size. Khloé's room was similar, though it lacked the glittery touches I had added. Glitter, I reasoned, made everything feel celebratory. The next morning, tensions bubbled up again. So I got to be real with you guys, I began, repeating my earlier sentiment, unable to fully let it go. The conversation circled around outfits, style choices, and perceived fashion missteps. Khloé's eyeshadow alone became a battleground of opinions. Half yellow, half green, I muttered, still bewildered by the color combination I had missed before. Kim, ever blunt, chimed in, "You think I looked like a clown? Well, you look like you just won the Tour de France and you're cycling around town." Ouch. That stung, but in fairness, she wasn't wrong. My outfit had been flashy, yes, but I had tried to be playful, not ridiculous. Still, the critique reminded me that fashion is as much about perception as it is about intent. This wasn't just about clothing, it was about identity, confidence, and self-expression. Japan, with its unique cultural lens, amplified every choice, every detail, every accessory. One misstep, or one overly confident choice, could be seen as absurd rather than artistic. And that, honestly, was a lesson in humility I hadn't anticipated. As we regrouped, Kim didn't hold back. "You have to tell the glam people, especially in Japan," she lectured. "Everyone thinks they should go all out, but probably the locals are laughing at you." It was a harsh reminder that enthusiasm alone doesn't always translate into success. I had to balance fun with taste, expression with subtlety. Meanwhile, Khloé tried to inject levity into the moment. "I think we just need to chill," she said, laughing at the absurdity of our arguments. But Kim's critiques weren't just stylistic, they were personal. "It could be time for a fashion overhaul," she continued, "to stay young and relevant." And there it was, the underlying tension, the invisible pressure of staying fashionable in a world that judged every choice. I sighed inwardly. Japan was supposed to be a getaway, an adventure. Instead, it had become a runway of critique, a place where every color, every shoe, every eyeshadow brushstroke was a statement under scrutiny. Later, the conversation drifted to more constructive advice. "It's not just what you wear," Kim explained. "It's how you present it. It's the delivery." She was right. Criticism delivered harshly could cut deeper than intended, while a kind word paired with a suggestion could be helpful. The sandwich method, as she called it, became the strategy of the day: compliment, suggest, encourage. I nodded, recognizing the wisdom. The key wasn't to avoid honesty, but to temper it with empathy. Khloé, ever observant, suggested, maybe compliment her skirt first, then mention the eyeshadow might be over the top. Simple, effective, considerate. It was a revelation. Style wasn't just external. It was interpersonal, a delicate dance between self-expression and social perception. Japan had become a backdrop. For more than just sightseeing, it was now a classroom for fashion diplomacy, and every day offered a new lesson. As the evening drew near, we visited a small, atmospheric venue where a tiny monster named Choppy resided. He was friendly, mischievous, and surprisingly photogenic. "I feel like your outfit's perfect for this kind of crazy," I remarked, finally feeling a sense of alignment between environment and appearance. For once, fashion and context were in harmony. Yet, the undercurrent of criticism lingered. Yesterday's harsh words still echoed in our minds. "Yeah, yesterday was horrible," Khloé admitted, reflecting on the intense scrutiny we had faced. But through it all, there was growth. Honesty, even when uncomfortable, had a way of clarifying expectations, pushing us to improve without losing ourselves entirely. By the time night fell, I realized the lesson was clear. Fashion was personal, yes, but it was also about courage, the courage to express yourself, the courage to accept critique, and the courage to evolve without losing your sense of fun. And that, more than any outfit, any eyeshadow, or any glitter, was the ultimate takeaway from Japan. The next morning, the crisp air hit us as we stepped outside, carrying the weight of yesterday's critiques but also a strange sense of excitement. Japan had a way of making even minor disagreements feel larger than life, almost cinematic. But the city was alive, neon signs blinking, people bustling by, each with their own style, their own presence. Somehow, it made our own drama feel both small and monumental at the same time. "Kourtney," I said cautiously as we walked, trying to keep things light, "I know I've been opinionated, but I just want to make sure everyone's having fun while also looking their best." Kourtney rolled her eyes, the perpetual skeptic. "I don't know why we even care," she muttered. Clearly fed up. "Some of us are just here to live, you know, not be judged every second." I understood that completely. Fashion, as fun as it could be, often carried a hidden cost, vulnerability. Every choice was a statement, and statements could be interpreted in ways we didn't intend. That was the problem with travel fashion. With Instagram-style expectations, it magnified insecurities. We found ourselves back at a cafe we had visited the day before. Khloé immediately ran to the dessert counter, eyes wide at the sight of a new assortment of pastries. "This is heaven," she whispered reverently, carefully selecting a few delicate tarts. I laughed, thinking how much joy a simple dessert could bring, even amidst the tension. Meanwhile, Kim wasn't holding back. "I just don't understand why people insist on going overboard," she muttered, sipping her coffee with a critical eye. "You're in Japan, not Paris Fashion Week. There's a difference between fun and ridiculous." I had to admit she had a point. But her delivery, always sharp, always cutting, made even valid observations feel like attacks. I remembered the sandwich method she had tried to teach, but even that couldn't fully soften her bluntness. It was a skill I envied, that ability to critique without alienating, and I silently vowed to practice it myself. After breakfast, we headed to a boutique that specialized in avant-garde fashion. The racks were filled with experimental pieces, bold colors, and unexpected textures. I felt a rush of inspiration. This was why I loved Japan, the fearless creativity, the willingness to experiment. "This is amazing," I murmured, running my fingers over a silky, neon-patterned jacket. Khloé nodded enthusiastically beside me. "Yeah, you could definitely pull that off," she said, though I could see the hesitation in her eyes. She wasn't used to styles so loud, so bold. Kim, predictably, had something to say. "I don't know why anyone would wear that," she scoffed, examining a bright orange coat. "It's over the top." I bit my tongue, reminding myself of yesterday's lessons. Criticism wasn't just about words, it was about timing, tone, and empathy. I wanted to point out that the outfit was brilliant, innovative even, but I could see her point, context mattered. It wasn't Paris Fashion Week, it was street fashion in Tokyo. Balance was everything. We tried on clothes, laughed, and debated colors. It was chaotic, but in a way that felt liberating. I could see the transformation beginning in small ways, how we started to blend honesty with tact, critique with encouragement. Fashion wasn't just about what you wore, it was a reflection of personality, confidence, and emotional intelligence. By mid-afternoon, tensions from earlier started resurfacing. Kourtney, frustrated with constant scrutiny, pulled me aside. "You know, you don't have to be perfect or critical all the time," she said quietly. "Sometimes people just want to exist in the moment without being judged." I nodded, understanding more than she could know. "I get it," I said sincerely. "I think I was trying to help, but maybe I overdid it. I'll work on it." It was a moment of connection, rare in our group. The truth was, Japan had brought out different sides of us, honest, bold, sensitive, and sometimes brutally frank. It was exhausting,